Okay, looks like we're live, so let's kick this pig. Hello, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, looks like we're live, so let's kick this pig. Let's mute this. I forget that every time almost. All right. Welcome to the only vape show that starts on time every time. It's absolutely. People ask me how I do it. I reach in my little miracle making bag and pull out a alarm clock. I don't know. It's really not hard to start on time. Let me get my chat popped out here. And let's see here. Let me get everything arranged. There we go. And let's go to live chat. Now we got it open. Now we're working. I think we got everything going. Maybe. This looks like our internet's working okay at the moment. Oh, forgot what I was doing here. Is this cooled off enough yet? And let it cool off a little more. Put that over there. Come over here. Yep, looks like that's working. Okay, we're good to go. I was editing, I shot the video this morning. Finally got this stigmata tank RTA in, and been playing with it quite a while, putting different coils in it, and I finally shot the video for it this morning. Got it edited. I got to get it. What's the next phase? I forget the name for it. It's one of the technical terms. Anyhow, still got to get it uploaded, but I do got it edited. So probably go public with it sometime early evening or tonight. It takes me forever to upload a video out here I'm out here in the weeds, so my upload speed is almost nothing. There's Adrian. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for dropping by today. But anyhow, we finally got it. It took like about 14 days this time. 3F is dropping the ball a little. And of course, this ain't the drip tip it come with. You can watch the video. It come with some little short ass plastic drip tip that it was so short it was almost useless, you know. So we're not using that. But anyhow, if you're interested, you can watch the video. It's going to get when I get done with this tank, it'll get cleaned and put on the shelf. So if that tells you anything, but you can watch the video. It was fun to play with. If you like to tinker, that's a tank for you. I'll tell you what. We got our coffee going. We got our RY4 and our K-Fun X. There's Andrew. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for dropping by. Anyhow, we got her all tested out and played with, and like I say, it'll be cleaned up. Still no live chat visible on TV. You know, I hadn't tried mine lately, but my TV YouTube did update, and now it says loading instead of the little circle spinning thing. And I did notice a little different format to it, just a little subtle changes here and there on my TV. Now my computer looks exactly the same, but I think the app on my TV finally updated, and I haven't tried. I used to could watch the chat on mine, but I had to go in and select it. But I don't know if I can still do that or not, to be honest with you. I always, if I'm going to chat, if I'm going to go in and chat, I always do it on my phone. And then, watch on the TV and chat on my phone. But I hadn't checked since mine, because mine finally did update, because it's different now than it used to be. And, something else I noticed, and I don't understand why, is, I use the same, I've got several accounts, but I use the same account to do this live as to, watch videos on my computer or watch videos on my phone or even the TV. It's the same Google account. But the recommendations that its algorithm gives me are different on each device. Totally different. Not just a little different, but just completely different. What it'll suggest for me, and it's getting real obvious that they're pushing an agenda, with what they're suggesting that you watch. Because I can watch 20 of one style of videos, and it might recommend one, and I can watch one of their agenda videos, and it'll recommend 20, and it's like, this is just totally obvious, guys. Y'all need to do something. Well, I'm gonna try it, Adrian. I'll try it later tonight on Chuck's show to see if my TV will still let me watch chat. Because it used to, but I had to go in, I had to select it, I had to tell it to do it, and I had to tell it to do it every time. It didn't default. It wasn't a setting thing. You had to request, and it was over. You had to hunt for it. It wasn't just on the screen, easily accessible. You had to hunt for it. So, but I'll check on mine. I very seldom do that, but I'll check if I can remember when I watch Chuck's show tonight if I can still do that or not. I'm just happy my TV will still use the YouTube app. I mean, it's a Samsung, and them and Samsung, they get into a pissing contest every now and then, and they'll just take the app off. Can't use it on a Samsung TV. I've had that happen before. I think it's this cooled off by now. Yeah, maybe sort of. Stigmata. Woo! Trying to vape it dry. I could just pour the juice back in the jar, but as much trouble as I went to wick the damn thing, I want to use it up. Hell, they might take it down, Adrian. And like I say, I had trouble simply because of the brand of TV I had here a while back. So, it could even get that in depth as to, you got the wrong brand TV. They don't like those people no more. So they're not going to, Or they may have just not included it. Who knows? Who knows? Now, Albrecht 2 is somewhere in the Postal Service. God knows where. Hopefully, it'll get here in a little while. But they said that they told me they shipped it about a week ago, so maybe in another week I'll see it. I think it'll be money better spent than on this stigmata. Of course, we kind of knew by watching the other videos that the stigmata was probably a waste of money, and it's not a total waste. I mean, it vapes. I'm vaping it now, but would I buy it again? No. And I don't know why. Like I said on on the video, I really didn't understand their thinking when they designed it, because it's really designed for a spaced round wire coil. That's what it's designed for. And it's like, who still vapes that? Now I can see if you're doing pretty good sized wire and you're doing temperature control, and you don't want to mess with the closed coil. I mean, I can see it that way maybe, but I don't know. It's kind of like I say, it was a really weird design. And when I upload this video, I'll be the only English speaking person that did a video on it. Of course, it ain't like YouTube's paying me, but anyhow. I know one time I looked years ago and I was amazed because if I remember right, you look at your analytics and the majority of the views to my channel came from Indonesia. I believe it was Indonesia, one of those countries over there. And I'm going, what the hell? Didn't really make a lot of sense. Maybe it's because I do a lot of clones. Maybe that was the deal. I didn't understand it, but that's what the analytics said. So it kind of amazed me, I guess. I hadn't looked in a long time to see what they are now. I'm sure they're not near what they used to be. Now, the latest, of course, last week we went over good old Chucky Schumer trying to get us all classified as same as cigarette commercials. Well, there you go, Andrew. Hey, this might be for you, buddy. It only takes about, I don't know. Well, I actually didn't time it. You can watch the video. It's 3 times the cotton. So figure 3 times, if you just, well, of course, the bad thing with this one is if you replace the cotton, you basically got to throw the coil away. Of course, if it's just spaced round wire, it's not that big a deal, really, and compared to expensive ass aliens and shit. But it's really designed for you to throw. If you replace just, let's say you want to just replace the cotton, it's really designed for you to throw the coil away too, the coil and the cotton away, and go back new everything. But it's 3 times the cotton, so basically there's 3 wicks, and so it's say 3 times the amount of time it takes to do it. You might, plus add a little bit for the coil, because you're going to have to make another coil, and it's not as big a deal to really install it. You just kind of shove it down in there and clip the ends, but you do have to go the trouble of making one. Yeah. But yeah, it's 3 times the cotton. So hopefully course, I don't know. I thought about doing it, but then I changed my mind. I was going to put some of my coil killer juice in it this time, but I didn't. And to see if maybe I got 3 times the life compared to one of my other tanks, because on a normal tank, uh, this one juice I got, one tank, and the cotton's gone. You know, the coil's not corroded real bad because I use low wattage, but the cotton is gone. I mean, it's black as ace of spades. Not burnt, but it's just it's gummed up. It's gone. And so I was going to see, since this one had 3 times the cotton, maybe I would get 3 times the life of if I put the coil killer juice in. Just a thought. I don't know, but I ended up didn't do it. I just put some RY4 back in it, simply mainly because I'm real familiar with how it should taste, and I could compare it to this K-Fun X. But I mean, it does, babe. And like I say, if you're a fan of round wire, now what size, what gauge wire do you use, Andrew? Because you're limited on this one. I think you would probably be all right with any round wire, but I'm not. I wouldn't. I think if you went too big a gauge, I don't know that it would work with it. I haven't noticed any ohms jumping, so if you wanted to use stainless steel and go with temp control, I don't really see a problem. No, 27, yeah, you're good then. You're good. I know for a fact 27 will work, and I'm pretty sure. Actually, find out right quick. Pretty sure. Let me find one. Oh. Let me just do a quick measure here. Yeah, 26 would work. No problem. $24 might work. 26 would work, no problem. 24, you're getting to the max circumference of the wire, because that's the deciding factor on that tank is the actual diameter of the wire. Is the deciding factor on how big a wire you can put in, and it's that one. It's like 0.5 works fine. 0.50 millimeters works fine. 0.50 for people that are picky. It works just fine. So, 24 is getting real close. It's 5.3 or 5.4. I'm sorry, 0.53 or 0.54, somewhere in that range. So you're getting right on the edge of it, maybe not working. And there's Mick. He came in to see us today, early in the morning for poor old Mick. I sure appreciate you getting up, watching me this early in the morning. Have some coffee, brother. It'd be better. Yeah. So, if you're a round wire guy, I mean, a space coil round wire guy, this might be for you. I did say in the video, you know, there are some tanks, certain tanks that you can put a vertical coil in. You know, it's always a bitch to wick them. It's no different with this one. That's what takes the longest is the wicking, and it's a bitch to wick the other ones. Yeah, that's Adrian, the Stigmata 3F, $27, I think. Clone. It's an Alton clone company that made the clone, Alton. But this vape's better than the RTAs that I can rig up a vertical coil in. This actually vapes better. The only exception is that old Chris RTA tank. I could put 2 vertical coils in it. Well, naturally it would vape better than this because it's 2 coils versus 1 coil. But I think this vapes better than going that route. You know, rigging up one single vertical coil in an RTA that was intended for a horizontal coil. And also, if you comparing apples to apples, so if you took and put a round wire spaced coil, spaced, not closed, but spaced. You put a round wire spaced coil in this K-Fun X, and you put a round wire spaced coil in this, I think this would vape better than the K-Fun X. But you would have to really compare them that way. I mean, real apples to apples. You know, same gauge, round wire, spaced coil. I think the Stigmata would actually outperform as far as vape the K-Fun X. But right now, see, I can put a pretty good size Clapton coil in this, so it just blows this Stigmata out of the water. So well, I hope you went out and eat, and I don't know what else y'all do down there, Mick. See a show, see a movie. At least maybe had a good dinner. But yeah, I'll have the video up for this Stigmata later tonight. Y'all probably catch it tomorrow sometime if you want to watch it. It's pretty long, but I mean, this damn thing it's over engineered as bad as the K-Fun 4. Whale watching. That's neat. I have never seen a whale in real life. Never been anywhere where there were some. We used to go deep sea fishing down in Galveston, Texas, every year almost, but there no whales. No whales down there. Where we wouldn't either. We didn't go far enough offshore, or there's none in that area. So I've never seen one in real life. I think it'd be neat. And there's Neil. He dropped by today. I hadn't looked at your weather lately, Neil. See what's going on over there. If you're still catching hell or not. It's just hot out here. Hot and dry. Thunderstorms, more thunderstorms. Yeah, ST show last night was delayed because his power was out. Lost internet for days. Wow. Overnight's about the most out here. And usually it's not from, well, our electricity doesn't go off that much out here. And it's always, it's real scattered, I guess you would say. You know, there's a lot of different grids out here that are kind of close together. And one grid will go out, and, you know, you can look over across the valley, and you know, if you're out, you can look over across the valley. They'll have lights over there. They're on a separate grid. So, but a few hours about the most. And ours actually has went out more from idiots running off the road and hitting a pole and knocking it down than from thunderstorms or lightning or any of that. If you kept track, more people have knocked down poles than from storms. Damn, it must have hit like a substation or something. If it knocked it out for 3 towns, that's more like maybe a substation problem. You know, and the bad part out here is there's how many is it? 1, 2, 3. There's 3 electrical, four electrical generating plants that you can see from my back porch. Okay, now they're a long way off, but you can see them. One's the wind. There's 4 big wind turbines. Then there's a natural gas burning, real old style power plant that used to burn coal. And then there's a solar. Well, there's solar one. So 1, 2, 3. What was the 4th one I was thinking about? Maybe there's just 3. Anyhow, they're a long ways off, but you can still see them. You can see for 20 miles out here. None of them are tied to the grid my house is on. Okay, they're all selling their shit to California. So, we can run out of electricity here and have 3 goddamn power plants, within sight, and still not have no electricity because they're selling all their shit to California. Yeah, Andrew, that's what. Well, depends on. Well, nowadays most of the shit's all tied together, especially over here. A lot of people do their phone bill, their cable bill, and their streaming service, and all that usually comes. A lot of that'll come from just one company. I hadn't lived in town to have cable in so long. I couldn't tell you though. It'd been how many years? Oh my goodness. I think I was like 15 years old the last time I lived in a place where I could get, I lived in town to where I could get cable. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Neil. Yeah, same thing. Y'all got the water powered generators, and yeah, it's like you take care of your neighbors first, And Mick, I hadn't got to Albridge 2 yet. It's supposedly on its way. It's been shipped. So I'm looking for it pretty much any day. We just did this is the Stigmata clone. I just finished the review on it this morning, and I'll be posting it later. But now it's a totally different animal. I doubt very seriously if you'd be interested in it. It's off in its own little world. That does vape, but it's off in its own little world. But my Albridge 2 has been shipped for probably at least a week now, so I'm looking for it pretty much any day. It could come in any day within the next week. And I'm going to get eventually. They hadn't got it for sale. You know, that was something that really ticks me off about these manufacturers. They'll give it to these damn reviewers, the Team Free Ship people, 3 months before they release it for sale. And for over here in the U.S. Now, you guys in the U.K., y'all seem to get y'all shit a month or two ahead of us as far as being able to go and purchase, purchase the newest tank. But hell, we're 2 to 3 months behind when the reviewers get theirs. And y'all, I don't understand. They think they're building up hype and shit, but that only works for a couple of weeks, and then you need to have the shit for the people to sell to cool off. Because you're dealing with that latest and greatest shiny thing impulse. Well, that shit, 2 to 3 months, you cooled off. You don't really care if you want or not. Plus, Joe Blow Company down the street doesn't come out with their latest and greatest shiny thing by that time. And I think they're missing out. I think if they would, have the shit, if I was doing it, I'd have the shit already at the goddamn vape stores. It would be there, maybe in the back. Don't put it out till this release date, but when that date hit, when the reviews hit, put that shit out on the shelf. Have it on the shelf right then, right there. That's the way I'd do it. I wouldn't send the shit out 3 months before I was going to have it in the stores. That's just me, though. What do I know? I'm just an old retired person on YouTube. But there have been several tanks, mostly for tanks on me, that I've cooled off by the time it was available. And I don't do the pre-order shit if I can get away with it. Now, I did pre-order the Albridge 2 a few days before it was supposed to be available. And I'm glad I did now, because I think they completely sold out of, I think they only ordered for the pre-order stuff, because now if you look on the site, it's in July before they expect any more in. So, and that's 3F, but Oh, you got you one of them unitanks. All right. I saw that. I started, I had to pull myself back. As I was looking at that, the Havoc one, and now I believe it was either Adrian or Andrew that said that they were having a little trouble with the RBA that come with it. But I was thinking about getting that Havoc one, but it was just a little too pricey for me. And the price never came down. Nobody cloned it. The price didn't come down. Well, see, Andrew, I mean, I have a total different, a beta tester. Okay, should be just that, a beta tester. You know, uh, don't give them the supposed final product uh, as a beta, and then wait 3 months to release it in the store. That's just, I think they're losing sales there. To me, a beta tester and a reviewer should be. I mean, they can do the same job, but the they should separate their work a little bit. You might say, you know, don't review it till you get real close to the final product in your hand. Yeah, Adrian, I think you're just gonna have to make them little caps yourself. I really do. Either that or, if you, surely there's, well, see, I don't know, you might be in the same boat. Some people are over here, as far as if they want to get something made, because back when I was a kid, see, I could have took the oven down to my local little machine shop and said, "Hey, I need y'all to make me half a dozen of these out of black Delrin," And oh, yep, no problem. And I'm not in a hurry for it, so when you put it in line, you get to it. Okay, no problem. $20. Yeah, great. Nowadays the damn machinists think they're worth 100,000 a year. So they're not even going to touch anything for less than $500. So if you want to go to the expense, you can ship it to me, the RBA, ship it to me, and I'll make you some caps out of black Delrin to go on the end for really a little of nothing. See, Neil, as much stuff as you're getting, man, you should have the channel, or you should have a channel, or you need to post to make you some deals, and hell, put them on my channel as far as that goes. You need to be doing reviews as much hardware as you got. Now, if you had to admit it, Neil, if you had to admit just how deep down that rabbit hole are you on Boral stuff? I've been down some rabbit holes. Hadn't fell in one lately, but I've been down some myself. I went down the Squape rabbit hole way back in the day, way back in the day. Of course, they were all clones. And I fell off in the DIY flavor rabbit hole. Y'all saw that from the video, if you watched the video. I fell off into that. And I've climbed my way back out of both of them. And just kind of hovering up on teetering on the edge, I guess you'd call it. But I fell down several rabbit holes in this vaping experience. And hey, you got to spend your money on something. You got to have some kind of hobby, pastime, whatever. Well, that's true. There is a lot of boral stuff. Everybody jumped on that bandwagon here a while back. They seem to be trying to beat the drum for some squonks, but I don't think that's grabbing a lot of traction. Trying to make squonking come back, do a comeback on squonking, but I don't think that's going to make up. I don't think they're getting much traction there. I'm curious what the price is going to be. I don't think it's, hold on a minute. No, I know it's not. It's a different name. I don't know what the price is going to be on that new plastic billet box look-alike, but that Mike Vapes did a review on here the other day, and Todd did one too. I might pick one of those up if the price is decent, you know. Oh yeah, you're right about that, Andrew. Shit. When I first quit smoking and went to vaping, of course, that's back in the day when, before I fell down any vaping rabbit hole, and I was just buying all my stuff from my local deal. Of course, they were cheap because they were fucking CE4s and Pro Tanks and shit. That was it. I saved over $300 a month. Back in the day, and that was 10 years ago. I mean, that was a car payment back then, brand new car payment. I was saving at least $300 a month when I switched. But anyhow, we grazed on the subject of good old Chucky Schumer trying to put us in with the cigarette commercials. The latest and greatest deal is now they're saying that China is putting fentanyl in the disposables for free, for no reason. Really? Really? That's the best you got? And the stupid ass Congress people, senators and representatives, they don't know enough about it to even have an opinion. They're just regurgitating what somebody told them to say. But yeah, they're concerned from they have fentanyl in it. Goddamn fentanyl in this shit. Start with the molecule will not withstand the heat it takes to vaporize the liquid, even if it was in the damn juice, the temperature it takes to vaporize juice. The molecule of fentanyl will not hold up to that much temperature. It will break apart, become inert, and do nothing. No harm, no good, no nothing. So, that's the real science, the real physics. But nobody's, nobody's calling them out on it. So they're just spouting off. The shit's just rolling out of their mouth like running water. But that's the next thing. Oh yeah, China's putting fentanyl in the disposables. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Adrian, that's the one I was talking about. And they come in several different packages. And see, that kind of, when Vandy Vape came out with that first Pulse, the plastic fucker that cracked all to hell, they gave you a whole bunch of shit in the box. It was relatively cheap, and then I think they decided they would try to milk the people, so they came out with their little improved version, and it didn't have as much stuff in the box. Or if you wanted the full Monty, as y'all say, the it was a hell of a lot higher, you know. And so, I mean, I'd have bought one if if it would have been the same price. But you know, they got a little greedy. Either that, or they really that was their plan all along, was to get you hooked to start with, you know, and then bump the price. But either way, if it comes with everything, now I care less about the DNA chip. Their chip is fine, as long as the damn thing works. You know, their proprietary chip would be fine with me. But uh, yeah, I didn't see that, Neil. Of course, I didn't watch his. I watched some of his video on it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. Do a spike about every 9 or 10 hits. I didn't watch his whole video. I watched some of it. Yeah, it was their chip, not the DNA. If you could get the whole 9 yards for $60, that wouldn't be too bad. And I wonder, Neil, if that was on the RBA section or on the coil bridge, because I've got several really good, back in the day, really good RBAs that would have a connection problem every now and then. And the one I got that's titanium, oh, that so much is just it's a nightmare. It don't want to make a connection for shit. It's just not a real good, you know, when you're just mashing several pieces of metal together, you know, you got lots of weak links in that chain. Oh yeah, my health has improved dramatically. And my doctor finally, of course she retired now, but before she retired, she finally admitted that vaping had improved my health dramatically. She had to. She watched it over almost my whole vaping life, which now is it'll be over 10 years pretty soon, or it may already be over 10 years. But she got to see it firsthand, and she finally had to admit it. She didn't want to, but she had to admit it. Yeah, the weak point on any of those bridges, I've had that. I mean, I've had connection problems with you know, a lot of bridges, because you got so many pieces. You know, it's never on the positive end. It's always on the negative side, where if you investigate it, you end up finding your problem. You know, because the shell has to make a connection. You know, the top of the chimney has to make a connection, and 9 times out of 10 they're not threaded. Now, if they're threaded, you're good to go. Most of them just stick in. Some of them have O-rings, some of them don't. But you know, you're just sticking in and you're hoping it presses enough to make a connection. And then you got the flush nut up on top, which is another press connection. You know, you just got lots of problem places on those RBAs that it can lose the negative connection really easily. Hell, there was one of them I had. that it made the connection to the negative post through the bell cap, of course, up through the chimney to the flush nut. But the post, it had two posts, set screws, the whole 9 yards. One of them, the negative one, set up a little higher than the positive one, so that when you put the bell cap on, it touched the top of that, and that's where you got your negative connection. And well, yeah. See, y'all's doctor. I think y'all got better doctors than we got. There's so few good doctors over here anymore. They're all just shields for the pharmaceutical companies nowadays over here. Pharmaceutical and insurance companies. They're employed by them. Even though you're paying them money when you go, they're basically just employed by the pharmaceutical and insurance companies. Used to, I would say, 20 years ago, I would say that we, over here in the U.S., we probably had a better medical, I don't know what the proper word for it, better medical care and a better medical environment than in the UK. I've completely reversed that now. I think y'all got the better system. System, that's a good word. I think y'all have the better system now than what we got. Ours has went to shit quick too, and I think y'all got the better system now. I really do. I don't remember if I ever did that to mine, Neil. If I ever cleaned it with some sandpaper. That's a good idea though, because there's a lot of times though. Uh, uh, During the process, there'll be a film will develop, or fire scale or something will develop on the metal, and if you'll just hit it with some uh, fine grade sandpaper, it'll get your connection back. Well, Thane, right now my top recommendation is this K-Fun X clone. And I mean, if you want to buy the original, that's fine, but this is a clone, and for MTL, it's my number one go-to at the moment. I don't know how long you've been watching the show. I just finished the review for this Stigmata RTA, but unless you're a die-in-the-wool spaced round wire coil person, I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah, the FEV is good, but if you're gonna do mouth to lung, I would recommend the smaller one, the 22 millimeter one, and make sure you get you buy one that the company that whoever makes it. If you're buying a clone, make sure you get one that makes the air that gives you ability to buy some different air inserts, because my FEV come with 2 millimeter air inserts. It's the bigger one, the 24, I believe, and it's not an MTL. It's a real nice RDL. I mean, I like it. I'll use the shit out of it. But yeah, MTL, I'd get the 22 and the make sure you get whatever brand you buy. Make sure you can get the airflow inserts for it. But be aware, it's bottom fill. That wasn't an issue for me, but it might be a deal killer for some people. All the FEVs that I know of are bottom fill. I'm not sure anybody makes a top fill for it. It'd be hard to, because it's gravity feed. And that's the really good thing about that FEV now. It's gravity feed, and straight down onto your cotton. So the it's always very well saturated, uh, and I think that's what really makes it work good. One of the pluses for me. A dwarf. I got some dwarves a long, long, long time ago, but I mean they vaped, but they weren't life changing for me. Now I don't have the newest, latest, and greatest, but I've looked at them and the build deck is still similar to the old ones. Still a little similar to the old ones. The only thing I could say is probably the advantage of one of these K-Fun X's over a dwarf is out of the box. It's top fill, and I think the deck is a little easier to put a coil in. Um, I would think, and uh, maybe a little easier. I don't know about easier, but um, more adjustability on the airflow, because this one has a needle where you can turn it, and you can go like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So it's very, very adjustable. Doesn't you don't it's You're not dependent upon, you either go with a 1 millimeter insert or a 1.2 millimeter insert. I mean, you can get this needle anywhere in between those two if you wanted it. Yeah, saying a lot of times bottom refill ain't a deal killer for some people. And like I say, quarter turn, nothing falls out. You just pour your juice in and don't even have to take especially if you don't even have to take it off the mod. Well, shit, it's not that big a deal. You know, there's a lot of them out there that are like that. You just what was it? Make sure. No, that's top fill. Uh, but yeah, if it's one of those that just comes apart real easy, uh, and you don't even have to take it off the mod, yeah, bottom fill's not that big a deal. It's just a deal killer for some people. I don't really have a problem with it. I should actually probably I should drag out some of my dwarves and play with them a little bit. I've got several. Shit, it would take me. I'd have to find them. I mean, they're up there somewhere. I think I think them got put back in a box. I think, but I've got. Hell, about one that had. Of course, they were all clones. About one that had. I don't know. Come with like 3 different tanks and a whole bunch of different shit. It was like almost every model all thrown in one box. And back in them days, this was, a long time ago, where you only had round wire or these hellacious Claptons and aliens. You had nothing in between, really. So, it wasn't none of this going and buying MTL Clapton wire. It wasn't a thing. And a lot of the older tanks, if you can get, you know, a smaller Clapton in there nowadays, they'll work surprisingly well. Yeah, I've still got God knows how many Kangaroo tanks I've got. I went down that rabbit hole. I think I got every one of them they ever made. You thought it was? Yeah, it looks like a dwarf. It does. It's short, squared off, short and whatnot. And now this little line you see here, that's not supposed to be there. I put too big a coil in, and it won't screw down flush because I put too big a wire in it. But it's not leaking, so I'm vaping it. But yeah, it looks the outside just from a glance. It looks a lot like a dwarf. The ones I've got, I believe, are a lot shorter than this. I may have some that have extensions on them. I don't know. Been too long. It's been years since I messed with those. Yeah, Neil, I'm not a boxer fan. I'm sorry. I'm not a 3D fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I have to watch depends on what what room I'm in and what chat I'm in as to voicing my opinion on that. But yeah, I'm not one of those. I'm not a 3D fan of uh, any form or fashion for the money they're wanting for them. I'm sorry. To me, it's plastic. Okay, it's plastic. Yeah, it may be a better quality plastic than those first uh, damn old pulses. I'll give them that. But still, $60, $400. No, sorry, nope. Yeah, he might do that eventually. He sells a lot of his stuff. That's still me. I don't sell shit. I hate if I buy it, I keep it forever almost. I mean, I'm that way on tools. I've got tools. Uh, I used to be an auto technician for like 20, 25 years, so I've got you know you can live in my damn toolbox. You know, uh, and of course I still use those. I do repair my own vehicles, and work on them. So, but when I built this house, I'd had very few carpentry tools. So I went out and purchased. They were all used. Well, a few of them were new. Most of them were used. Tools that took carpentry tools like, table saws, radio alarm saws, stuff along that line. I mean, I went out and bought all that to build my house. And then, when I got through, they got put on the shelf. They didn't get sold. And I'm the same way with my vape gear. I don't sell it. I put it on the shelf, saving it for hard times. Just in case the vaping apocalypse does happen, I'm good for the rest of my life. So. Yeah, it's amazing though, saying how happy we used to be with a Kangaroo Pro tank and an Ego battery. And we were just as happy as, happy as we could be. Well, hello, Anthony. Thanks for coming by today, brother. That's all right. You gotta get that overtime, man. Anytime you can get some overtime, get it. That's what let me retire early. Well, I still ain't got my first Social Security check. It's supposed to be. I'm supposed to get it at the end of September if the government don't try to fuck me over. Which, if I was, a gambling man, which I am, I would put some money down that they were probably going to end up trying to fuck me over. But they claim they're not. They claim they're going to send me my first check at the end of September. But anyhow, back to the main thought. Back when COVID hit, I was working for FedEx as a delivery driver, and pretty neat little job. I really liked it, and because I wasn't in town, I was out here in the desert, and the people that your customers, they were happy to see you. They were nice as they could be, and it was enjoyable. Anyhow, of course, like any other job, they tried their best. If you were getting paid by the hour, they tried their best to keep your hours down. So, but when COVID hit and everybody quit going anywhere and started ordering all their shit to be delivered at home, well, our package count just like tripled, and so they had to pay us overtime because you get overtime every day, and they didn't have no choice because they wasn't no hiring because they didn't have enough trucks to where, well, they would just put another truck and another person do half your route, you do half the route, they do half the route. Well, they couldn't do that. First off, they couldn't find enough qualified people to hire. Second off, they didn't have vehicles, and so you ended up collecting a slew of overtime, and that went on for almost 2 years. So during that time, because of the way I have structured my life and everything, I don't have a lot of bills. So I was just taking all that overtime money and just piling it in the bank, And when the pile got big enough, and of course the COVID went away, the overtime kind of went away, and the pile got big enough, and I said, I can retire and just coast till I start getting Social Security check. Well, Andrew, the trouble back then is I've tried this, and I don't know what the difference is, but I tried the other day. I was going to do a little retro thing, is I've still got some brand spanking new CE4s, and I've got some actually new Ego batteries because they've been sitting forever. But I charged some of them up, and they came back to life, working fine. But I tried using one of my 50/50 juices, and it wouldn't work in there. Uh, I think it was too thick. I would have to really play with it because, back in the day, they were just, all you could get was those little bottles from God knows where. And uh, I would really have to make some really special juice for those. Now, I think I'd have to maybe go a 70/30 heavy PG or something, because my normal 50/50 wouldn't work in them. They would burn. Even on the little Ego batteries, not, I wasn't chucking them on them, dual 18650. I was using what we used back in them days. Well, they need to go on strike, Neil. And I'll tell you why. They do have benefits. Now, most FedEx ground delivery people you see are independent contracted. They work for an independent contractor. So as far as benefits, you got none, unless this guy, the independent contractor, supplies them. You don't get shit from FedEx. Now, if you work, let's say you work for, if your truck says FedEx Express, okay, then you're working straight for FedEx, and they may have some kind of benefits. But if your truck says FedEx Ground, your little truck says FedEx Ground, then you're working for an independent contractor, and you ain't got shit for benefits. But they do pay good, and you don't have to. They'll if the guy's worth a damn, cares about his employees, he'll kind of look the other way if you break some bullshit FedEx regulation or some bullshit like that. He'll kind of look the other way. Whereas if you're working for the corporate structure, they're, 9 times out of 10, they're trying to get you fired to begin with. So, but UPS, they have a union. they pay dues, I assume, and so yeah, they need to go on strike, because when was it? It was yesterday. I was outside because I've been lately in the mornings. I'll go out and I've been repairing and repainting the fascia on my house because it's 15 years old now. So had some paint bubble up, and peeling and whatnot. Scrape it down, prime it, put new paint. Anyhow, I was out there working, and here goes the little UPS truck down the next street over, and it's already 100 degrees or more. This was in the morning, probably 10, 11 o'clock. It's already 100 degrees or more. I look over, here he goes down that road going to one of my neighbors way off somewhere. And both doors were open because he ain't got a lick of damn air conditioning in the truck. Truck don't even have a fucking air conditioner. And man, I looked at that and I said, and them fuckers have got a union. They pay union dues, and yet they can't negotiate to get air conditioning in their trucks, especially in this area. Now, if you're in Montana, okay, I can kind of let that slide. But my God, if you're in Texas or Arizona, Southern California, if some other company, say, abuse their employees like that, they'd get sued. So they should strike. I mean, my truck was FedEx. Of course, I was an independent contractor, and he knew. He said, "Hey, yeah, I have, AC in all my little trucks, especially the ones that have to go out here and stay out all day and go up and down some dirt roads, because I don't want you breathing in all that dust if you got your windows down. Have your windows up, have your AC blasted, and if the air conditioner broke, he fixed it just like that. 9 times out of 10, I'd fix it myself because I didn't want to wait on him getting it fixed. I mean, he would get it fixed, but he'd have to make an appointment at a repair shop, this or that or the other, unless it just needed Freon. Uh, but otherwise, most of the time I'd fix it myself. All right, Mick, have a good day at work, brother. Don't let them get to you. Keep your chin up. But yeah, here comes this poor old. And I used to see that there was a lady that did the UPS out in the desert where I was. And yeah, dirt road, 25 miles down a dirt road, 110 degrees in the shade. Cars, anytime you pass a car, dust cloud. Can't be good for you. Can't, you know. Yeah, ain't no sense coming here now, Andrew. y'all, y'all better off where you're at. The Mexicans are still pouring in like running water over here at the moment, but everybody else seemed to calm down a little bit. Well, see, Arkansas, I don't think is a big, not a big union state, is it? Ain't it like out here? Or like Texas, it's a right to work state. Because I know Texas, there would be some unions there, but they had like uh, almost no power whatsoever. That's the way it is out here in Arizona. There's a few companies with unions, but they don't have any. They don't have any power. Now you go over here to Nevada, and to get any type of say blue collar work, construction, carpentry, plumbing, electrical, any of that shit, you got to be in a union. Period. They're really big into it. Unions there, and I think they have quite a bit more power. But and that's one of the yeah, well, you're the same as us. I mean, some companies have unions out here, but it's a right to work state, and they uh, they don't have a whole lot of power. But what they don't understand, a lot of them don't. And of course, I understand. I can see both sides of the coin. You need your job, you need your paycheck, but when push comes to shove, you got to be able to walk off the line. That's where all the union power comes from, is them being able to shut down a plant because everybody walks out the door. That's where their power comes from. That threat or that ability to do that. If you ain't got that, next time you go to the negotiating table, they're going to realize it, and you ain't going to be able to get shit. And it's real hard. It's real hard in a right to work state because they can immediately start hiring people to replace your ass if you go on strike. So it's it's really hard to. It depends on the job, depends on the factory, and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, they can replace you instantly if they can find somebody that can do your job. Now, in a lot of times, it's a very quickly trainable position or something like that. Yeah, if you're paying union dues, you're wasting your money. Depends on what state you're in. Now, like I say, some of them are good, but some of them are they have no power, especially a right to work state. If you're paying union dues in a right to work state, you're kind of pissing your money away, unless you have to pay it to get the job. If you have to join the union to get the job, but I don't think that usually works in a right to work state. I've never been in a union, never had to deal with mess with one of them. I like them until they get too big and then start abusing their power. I really like unions, but like anything else, some of them will get corrupted. You know, and of course, especially the ones that have a like a retirement system, and you give them every money every month or every week, and hopefully you're going to get it back with maybe some interest when you retire. Them's are the ones that you really got to watch out for. Because they'll steal your money. They'll make a bad investment because they're not investment bankers. you know, and you get ready to retire, and yeah, your money's gone. And they're not like the government; they just can't print them some. Government. You know, so everybody always worries about Social Security going broke. You know, it's hard to go broke if you're the one controlling the printing press. Now, the shit you're printing might not be worth nothing, but you can still print it and give it to people. And the weirdest state I ever lived in was Kentucky because they didn't call themselves a state; they called themselves a commonwealth. And a lot of the normal rules were different when it come to state government and what you could and couldn't do. And I believe they were a right to work state. And right across the river, you drive across the river, you're in Ohio, and they had a lot of unions over there. I don't think it was a right to work state because uh, there were a lot of unions over there that had power and whatnot. And you drive across the river into Kentucky, and it was a little different world, but it was a Commonwealth, and it was really weird. Some of the differences uh, there, they were more the state government, put it that way, was able to screw over the common person easier than in a state like Texas or Arizona or probably even Arkansas. Uh, anyway, it all went back to them being a commonwealth instead of a state, so they were allowed to do this. Whereas if you're in a place called a state, they couldn't. It was really weird shit. That I don't live there anymore. No, Andrew, there's some states that parallel y'all, probably pretty close as far as the union deal. I'd say probably uh, something like say New York, Chicago, not Chicago, but Illinois, uh, maybe even probably New Jersey. Some of the real deep blue states, you would see a lot closer similarity, where you would see the people go out on strike and this and that and another. Uh, a lot of times over here they'll settle, they settle before it gets to the strike point, but and a lot of the government stuff, and that's not really the right word. It's kind of like the time that our airline controllers, airplane, air traffic controllers, they wanted to go on strike, and the government stepped in and says, "Nope, you can't go on strike. You go on strike, we put you in jail. Your job is too important. You're not allowed to go on strike." So, uh, you know, but I don't know what the correct term would be. Might be civil servants over there, what y'all would refer to as a civil servant, where they kind of work for the government or a city or something, uh, and they're able, to go on strike. Uh, over here you don't get a lot of that because they're not allowed to have a union because you work for the government. That's the way they look. I think that's the way they look at it over here. I'm not really that versed in it, but I know you see strikes a lot more in the deep blue states than you do uh, in the red states. Oh yeah, they're both corrupt. Anytime something gets too big and too powerful, it gets corrupt. It's a default setting. you know. Yeah, it's a damn default setting. You know, they can't go the other way. They can't go good. They reach a certain point, a certain level of size and monetary deal, and it's just corrupt. I think they say the same thing about civilizations. When they reach a certain point, they just self-destruct. And I couldn't argue that uh, at all. Yeah, public sector workers. That's civil servants. Yeah. See, I don't know. So we don't call our people civil servants. It's just not a term uh, we use, or I don't anyhow. Maybe it's just me. Hell, it might just be me. But the way it's looking, like I say, the way it's looking, I think y'all might have the better system at the moment. Ours might swing back around, but oh, in the center here, I think y'all might have a better system at the moment. All things considered. The wankers. You know, the people, and another reason I think y'all got the better deal. I got one thing one time I bought from somewhere in the UK, and it was shipped uh, using Royal Post. I believe that's the name of y'all's postal system over there. I got this shit like that. I'm talking about over the Atlantic. I got it. I mean, that was the best postal service I'd ever seen in my life. And with a few exceptions, most of the postal workers over here, uh, yeah, Royal Mail, okay, yeah, they're just collecting a paycheck. They're doing the least amount of work as they can. They don't want to help you. They don't care about you. They could care less about anybody, anything, and they can't be. They have to like almost murder somebody to get fired if they've been there. If they got some time in. Now the new hires, they'll fire them left and right, simply because most of the time their immediate supervisor that has the ability to fire them is a complete and total asshole that doesn't need their job either. Doesn't need to be there. But if you once you get your foot in the door real good, you just about got to murder somebody to get fired from one of those jobs. And like I say, with a few exceptions, they're mostly all like that over here. Now there was two ladies that ran the post office in a little town called Yucca that I used to deliver to, and I would actually take them partials and boxes, little small boxes that FedEx had some kind of deal with the postal service, and they would put 20 or 30 little boxes in a great big sack and have one shipping label on the sack, and that's what I would take them, and then they would take them out and put them in the deals or divvy them up or have the people come and get them or whatever. But those were the two nicest ladies you would ever want to meet. Would go out of their way to help you and everything else. But when the bigger the city, the worse they are. Has been my experience. But what dealings I had with the Royal Mail, man, they were Johnny on the spot. Of course, it makes me wonder a little because they employed TVP, so kind of throws a little doubt in the equation. But and over here you can even watch. You can the people that still have routes in town. Okay, if you was to actually just go and watch their procedures, and it's not them, they don't have a choice. It's these procedures